Okay, Paul, so what are you doing today?
We're going to see how long we can power a food dehydrator with our little solar setup. I'm not sure how long it's going to power it. I think it might not last too long. But we're curious just to see how long it will actually work. It may only run an hour or two. We'll see what happens. So, we've got our Harbor Freight solar panels running into a charge controller, and they're keeping this this marine RV battery charged up. Okay, so now we're going to connect the inverter to the battery so we can convert the DC to AC to power the whatchamacallit, the dehydrator. Okay, so first off, disclaimer, the solar panels are not by themselves powering the inverter. Okay, let's be clear on that. The solar panels are simply keeping this battery charged up. If we try to run this continuously non-stop, at some point it will completely drain these batteries, because these are only 45 watt solar panels. Alright, they're certainly not enough to power a food dehydrator non-stop for days at a time. So we just want to see how long it will go. Okay, so
Right.
panels are charging the battery, we're running off the battery.
And I'll be monitoring it to ensure that it does not fully drain the battery, since we don't have a charge controller that... Does our charge controller do that?
It may, I'm not sure. That's the other thing. Some charge controllers, I think, will, I mean, some inverters, I think it was the inverter, wasn't
Oh,
it?
well,
I think that's what we're talking
could be.
about. I read something somewhere that some will actually cut off if the battery voltage gets too low, so it doesn't drain it too low. I'm not sure if ours does that or not. I'll have to go read the manual. But regardless, I read somewhere that I think the cutoff voltage typically is somewhere around 11.7, 11.8 volts. I'll have to go back. I've got it written down somewhere. But that's the voltage which you don't want your battery to go below. When it's fully charged, I think it's actually going to be somewhere around 13 point something volts. And then as you draw it down, that voltage will start to drop. And when it gets to, I think it's 11.7, that represents, I can't remember exactly, 30% or 50% of full charge, something like that. And they say for a normal marine RV battery, you don't want to go below that, because then it harms the battery. So anyway, so let's connect this up. I think this will fit up here. I'll certainly hope it will. Always have technical difficulties. Not sure how we want to do that.
So what was... You said you can't hook up both?
Well, the way the posts are, we've got the clamps from the solar panels going to the post, and now I need to connect this on there too, but I don't know, maybe we can get them on like that. I don't know how well it's going to work, but that might work.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Here, yeah. Maybe we can just do it like that. That's a good enough connection. I think that'll work. I think we've got enough on.
Okay, so now you've got the inverter and the solar panels both connected to the battery, and then we're going to run an extension cord, which is not advisable, right?
Well, you don't want a really long extension cord, which we're going to have to at this point to get in the house. It's just the longer the cord, the more line losses and stuff you're going to have.
Okay.
Again, I don't know how much that really affects it.
So I guess we'll find out, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I used to be in electronics years ago, so I understand certain things that happen, but I wasn't dealing with, I wasn't an electrician, I didn't deal with long cord runs and stuff like that. So I know there's going to be some effect, I'm just not sure how much. I know you want to keep it as short as possible. So.
Okay, and really we're not talking about like 100 feet or anything, we're talking about from here, and we'll move it around to right there and around the corner. So we're not talking about a great distance,
No.
But...
Well, and you're talking AC. The DC is just from the battery to there, and that's very short. And my understanding of it is I think it's much more critical with DC than it is with AC.
Okay, so...
Which is why we have AC power lines and all of that. But, so I don't know how big of a deal it is. But anyway, this is just an experiment. We just want to see how long it'll last. So,
okay.
Okay, one of the other things we wanted to do before we started this is we wanted to see what our voltage is before we start, and then as the dehydrator is running throughout the day, Christine's going to come back out here and check the battery voltage again, so to ensure that, like I said, it doesn't go too low. So, and I think the cutoff's around 11.
Isn't there a display on the charge controller that'll show that?
Yeah, it may, but it's easier. Got the meter. It's just easier to drop the meter there and check it. It might be a bit more accurate too. So.
It's easier for you.
Flick the switch to on.
Well, I'm saying the charge controller's got the little thing on it where all you have to do is turn on the display.
Boy, that was hard.
But I don't even have to do that if I use the charge controller.
Yes, you are, because you're going to have to take the top off and you're going to have to pull the inverter out because the charge controller's sitting under it.
I don't have to pull it out. All I have to do is tip it up.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Fine. And what did it say?
Set the meter to its highest range, which I'm not even going to worry about because I know it's under 20 volts. I'm going to set it to 20 volts. Just flick the switch to on and you check it. And it's that simple. And it says 13.23 volts.
Which is good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Discharge. So I don't know exactly what the normal voltage is, but it's a 12-volt battery, and it's right now showing 13.23 volts. So we'll just monitor it throughout the day as we use it tomorrow and see how rapidly it discharges. So again, I know it's probably not going to power that dehydrator all day. I'd be extremely surprised if it did that. It may only go for an hour or two, but we just want to get an idea of what it will do. So. And again, this isn't a normal deep cycle battery like you would use with a solar setup. It's just a marine battery. We bought at Walmart just because we wanted to play around with solar power, and it's really cool because we can take it camping with us and recharge our laptops, and it's great for that type of thing. But we're just curious how long you power a couple of things around the house, like the dehydrator, and we have a little camp cooler we bought too that we want to see how long it will power that. So we'll do that video next.
Okay, so already hooked up on this side. So all I have to do is turn on the inverter. On. And again, we're running an extension cord, which is not the optimum idea here, but in. All right, so. Okay, and it's showing on the voltage meter on the controller here, 13.7 volts. So, yeah. All right. Now I'm going to take it and we'll go inside and turn it on. And then throughout the day, I'll just go out and check to see how the voltage is doing. And normally I would go ahead and, fill up the whole dehydrator, but since we're just doing a test here, I'm not going to put too much on. Close it. And I'm going to go ahead and go back outside real quick and see if it's drawn down the amperage at all, or volts, or whatever you want to call it. Just so we can see, it is 9:36 in the morning, so we'll see how long it'll run. Okay, so let's take a look real quick and see if we've had any drawdown at all. So it's already down to 12.3. I don't know if you can see that. 12.3, 12.4. And we still have it hooked up to the solar panels. So it's going to get a little bit of a charge. Well, 12.6. It's kind of going back and forth. But it's going to get a little bit of a charge throughout the day.